This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
She inspires us to be creative as an art therapist, and we're going to talk about your imagination today. How do you tap into it? How do you use it to your best advantage? And so much more. And it's so great to have her back with us. Our professional of the year, Barbara Robertson, is on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Steve. Thanks. How are you?
Real good. Real good. Love what we're going to talk about. And it's funny, we got this email from the last time we got together, and I think it ties into imagination. So I'm thinking maybe we start with that. You good with that?
Yeah, what a great place to start, for sure.
So this is Marcy in Roanoke, Virginia. She says, I used to paint as a hobby. I'd like to get back into it and can't decide what I should paint or what type of paint to use. Can you share ideas?
Okay. Well, I think probably the most important thing that a person can do when they're wanting to do something creative is to do a kind of a warm-up. In other words, don't force yourself to make any decisions, but invite your imagination to come on board. Invite your imagination to show up by asking sometimes silly questions. So I kind of came in with a question in my mind this morning that I think might kind of provide a little bit of grist for that "what do I paint" mill. So do you want to try it? I'm going to ask a series of questions and invite your imaginations to answer those questions in whatever way seems to either work or happen for you.
Are you going to use me as an example?
Well, maybe, but I think actually probably what we should do is kind of go through a series of questions without answering, but just kind of leave some moments of silence for people to kind of check in, see what shows up for them, maybe jot a note or do a little, quick sketch of what shows up and go on to the next one. And then at the end, when it seems like a good place to pause, maybe you and I can kind of quiz each other about what came up for us.
I'm all ready to go.
Okay, awesome. All right. So my question for the day is, what color is your soul? Now, soul can be your spirit, your chi, your life energy, whatever animates you, whatever name you call it.
And
That part of you that is unseen, doesn't seem to have substance, but what if it could be seen? What if it did have substance? What color would it be right now?
okay, you said the two words right now, because I gotta think that I can imagine that. See, I use the word imagine, that it's going to vary. The time of day, mood, all of that, right?
I actually wrote myself a note about that. It could shift from moment to moment, depending on you and what's around you, what's happening, what's just happened, what's about to happen. All those things might prompt your soul to shift its color or its form, its shape, its size. Everything about it could shift in order to suit the moment.
So I'm thinking deep and being intentional and trying to visualize what color it may be. And I keep getting a certain color.
Okay, well, hold on to that color. And I also want to say, if your mind doesn't visualize well, you can also invite any other sense to show up and give its opinion about your soul, your spirit, what it might be like. So let's think about what else we could ask it. How big is it? relative to you? Does it fit inside you somewhere, or is it so big that it's around you, above you, behind you, beneath you, supporting you in some way? Where is it in relation to you?
Oh, you're making us think today. Hmm.
Where would you most want it to be?
Hmm. Hmm. And I'm trying to get out of my head in terms of what I might perceive it to be and just let it be.
That's great. Yes, if you can kind of ask your thinking brain to just take a step back in this exercise
Hmm.
and let the imagination kind of reach out to all the resources. And of course, the brain will carry lots of associations, and so it's not going to be
Hmm.
completely abandoned. It's just we're asking it to soften its voice a little bit.
I'm going to write the answer down. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So then you might think, after you've kind of assessed the size and the place, is it solid, liquid, or gas? Or some other thing? What is its constitution? If you reached out to touch it, would your hand go into it, or would it stop at the surface? If it had a surface that you could rest your hand on, or your shoulder or your back, what texture would you feel? And maybe what temperature would it be?
And we're talking about your soul. You're
Your
right?
soul.
Okay.
Yep. We're still
Hmm.
talking about this mysterious entity that we all seem to know enlivens us, but we don't have any way to define it. So, what we're doing today is inviting our imagination to step up and just offer us a few opinions.
So I'm going to say this that the question before this one, I had a certain thought, so I wrote it down. But then the further question of, so I don't want to put words in your mouth or change it or reveal anything. So give me that question again.
Well, that question was if you rested your hand against it, or your shoulder, or your back, what would its texture be? And would it have a temperature? Would it feel warm or cool?
This is not easy because I'm not going to write down anything. I want to really what's coming from within. But that question, I got something that I felt, but that changes the previous question. I don't know if that makes
Maybe
sense.
not, though, because this is not subject to the laws of physics on Earth.
Okay.
So even if those two things seem contradictory or mutually exclusive, in your soul, maybe that's exactly how it needs to be.
Okay. All right. We're good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go with it. I mean, that's really what imagination is for. It's for allowing things to be that don't necessarily have to follow the rules of nature on Earth.
Well, that was kind of an eye opener there to imagination, actually, because now the chains have come off. So that very impactful and
And
useful.
exactly, that's why we want to exercise the imagination in ways like this, so that it really gets to show up in its true nature,
Hmm.
to really, be welcome for
And
what it can do.
doing this for the soul is very individual.
Indeed,
So
there is no right answer and there is no wrong answer.
right. I mean, correct. Okay. So what?
Yes, you can't do this wrong, as they say,
Mhm.
but this time it's true. You can't. Okay, how about, is it shiny or dull? Does it reflect light or absorb light?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Is it moving around under its own steam, or is it stable or static, just in one place and kind of solidly anchored? What is it like doing best?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does it, would it let you come inside, whatever shape or size it is? Would it
Mm-mm-mm.
open a portal for you to visit the inside of it? And it's okay either way. We'll celebrate a yes and a no because we're going to assume whatever the answer is, it has a good reason that that's the answer.
Okay.
So if you saw the possibility of going in, I want to invite you to go in and feel what it's like in there. And if it said no, I'd rather not, then notice how you feel as you're there with it.
Okay.
And then just a couple of wrap up questions. What color is that feeling? Now I'm not asking you about what color your soul is, but what color is the feeling that you feel as you're there with your soul, with it present in a more concrete, substantive way than we usually bring our awareness to?
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, and just one that's kind of for fun. This is more for everybody just to be curious about because you may not find the answer showing up instantly. I had to give this one a bit of thought, and I heard this question from a different source. I didn't generate this question, so I want to share it with you.
Mm-hmm.
When or where or how do you most feel or hear or bring awareness that your soul is active within you?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a real sort of, maybe I need a long time to let the back part of my brain ponder that before it sends any information to the front part of my brain where I can put it into words.
Kind of got it. Kind of got it. Hmm.
Okay.
This is interesting. A few things actually came up. I'm laughing at them in a way. Um, should we go through them? I'm happy to give answers. I mean,
Sure, yeah. I think that's about all the kind of prompting I have to invite you and myself and our viewers and listeners to kind of check in and
mm,
see how their imagination is responding today.
um,
So
okay,
go ahead.
go ahead. I mean, I can read these, but I don't know if it's better you hit the question and then I'll give the answer.
Yeah, okay. Well, we started with what color was it?
I said a shade of green.
Okay. Should we share these together as we go?
Yeah, sure. Please.
Yeah. Okay, mine was kind of a rose pink. Like the kind of pink that you see on a flower petal, where it's not the same shade over the whole petal, but this sort of lovely undulating variety of light to intense.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then how big?
I wrote down within me and maybe a foot around.
Okay, mine was a bit smaller than that, also within me. Um, and the solid, liquid, or gas for me was like the mist that you drive through sometimes when the fog, comes close to the surface and you recognize that you're actually like walking or driving through a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
That if you
Mm-hmm.
were up above it and looking down, it would look just like the clouds look when you look up.
I put gas like, but I could go with what you said as well. That's sort of in the gas family, if you will.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I kind of remember the first time having grown up in Illinois, in the part of Illinois that is just as flat as a pool table. You can see the horizon 40 miles away, little farms getting smaller and smaller the farther away they are. When I went out to the West Coast for the first time and drove up to a camping site that was on top of one of the mountains near the coast, and in the morning woke up and realized we were above the clouds. It was a beautiful sunny day where we were,
Mm.
and it was raining underneath us, so the clouds were pretty dense. And that was such a surprise to see what that looked like.
And just to realize that you're in that.
Yeah, and just
That's
to
yeah.
realize, and then, later we were driving down and we're driving down through it. And it's sort of like, I guess, when you go in an airplane, you're going up and down through a cloud layer if it happens to be visible at the time you're taking off or landing. But kind of being physically present, not with the shell of an airplane around you, made it a whole different kind of sensory experience.
Hmm.
So then I was asking about the surface. Did it have a texture or a temperature?
Um, I wrote down slight texture.
Okay. Mine kind of felt like a really, really soft fur would feel, like rabbit.
Okay.
Like where you could barely tell when you're first touching it because it's so soft.
Can I share
And
something because it's so
yeah,
ridiculous? This is a grown man saying this, okay? My
okay.
friend, a woman, has this blanket. It's
Ah,
like it's the Peanuts characters, Snoopy and
uh-huh.
everything on it.
Yeah.
It is the softest blanket you would ever find. So I went and bought one. So on my bed is Peanuts characters. $20. It's huge. It is like you described. It is just like you don't want to even let it go. Now I get Linus in Peanuts. Now you
Oh,
understand.
exactly. Carrying that blanket around. Yeah.
Uh,
And I don't know what it is about manufacturing or textiles or what, but it seems to me in the last couple of years, we have achieved a new level of softness that I
yeah.
don't remember existing when I was a kid.
I would have paid double and more for this blanket, and especially because of the size. Like huge. Like a lot of blankets are a
Yes.
throw blanket. I'm like, what's the point? It's like
Right.
uh,
Right.
so
Because you could
yeah,
like roll yourself up like a taco in that thing.
exactly, and
Yeah.
super soft, super soft.
That's
Uh,
cool.
okay, next one.
So let me see. Was it shiny or dull?
I wrote down slightly shiny.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Like animal fur is sometimes kind of shiny. There's a
Yeah.
gloss to it that's
Yep. Yep.
just, yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that for me. I think I forgot to ask one of these, does it make a sound?
Oh no, you didn't ask that.
I don't think I asked that, but let me just throw that one out there.
I'm gonna say no, no.
Mine sings. That
Hmm.
I ran across, and I can't sing. Singing is like the last thing on
Same.
earth that my voice is equipped to do.
Same.
And so, eventually I learned better than to do it in public.
Although I
Just-
am tempted every once in a while to be singing in the car, and I'm like, just go do karaoke once. Pick one song that you think you sound good, and just who cares? Just do it. But I haven't done it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. I might sing in the car, right,
Hmm.
exactly. Yeah, but typically when I'm by myself. Okay, moving or still? And what is it like best?
More stable than not.
Yeah. Mine kind of likes, you know how you see these reels of little babies dancing that are probably AI because their moves are so smooth?
Hmm.
I think mine kind of likes that.
Okay. Hmm.
It likes to sort of pretend like it knows how to dance.
Remember back in the '90s, Ally McBeal, and they had the dancing baby,
Oh, yeah,
and then
that's
just a
right.
baby in a diaper would be, moving around.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from. I don't know if she was
No,
expecting
but it
somebody.
was it was it was so cutting edge at that time. Somebody was really using their imagination to make that happen.
You are correct. Yes, very much
Yes.
so.
Yeah, yeah. And they say there's nothing new under the sun, sure, and dancing's not new, and babies moving isn't new, but to put that together into something that millions of people could see and get a little spark of joy or delight or laughter from is just a beautiful thing.
And 30 years later, we're still talking about it. So
And we're still talking about it.
we remembered it.
Yes, because it lit that feeling up in us that,
It
you know, that
connected with our soul.
connected with our soul. Exactly. And
Mm.
then would it let you inside?
No, because I emit it. So it's coming from me. I'm sending it out to all.
Awesome. Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Mine sort of doesn't want its energy generator to be accidentally bumped or disturbed. So it sort of feels like it contains something that it has to keep functional.
Well, it sounds like you're protecting it.
Yeah, and it's protecting itself.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Needs to be protected. Go with that.
Well,
Needs to be.
that's, yes, needs to be protected. Yes. Yeah, it could be accidentally or intentionally hurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh, I
All
hadn't thought
right.
of it that way, but yeah.
Next one,
And
what do you got?
that's very human. What do you feel as you're there in it or with it?
I go back to my answer on the previous question. I emit it. So I'm releasing it, sending it out.
I love that.
What do you got?
Whole.
Mm,
I feel whole.
I love that.
Yeah, like it's I don't know, don't quite how to put it, but it has this essential element that does it does come into all the rest of me, like you're talking about emit it. It emits itself into me so that it's sort of an integral part of me, but it still has its own identity and its own sort of
Mm.
core working center.
I never thought of it that way, that it could admit to you and to others. I'm thinking more of I'm transmitting. I'm a transmitter. I'm sending it out. But I never thought of
Yeah,
it. I could also be sending it into myself as well.
true
Hmm.
enough. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think what that says, though, is that both of us kind of see this element of being a living human as something that has value, something that's precious, something that matters.
Because it needs to be protected.
Right. And because it has outreach to other people that can connect us to each other.
Mm.
And that's almost as necessary as breathing for humans.
What you got for the next one? The color?
So then what color is it that your feeling is, a feeling that you have when you're with it, in it, connected to it?
I came up with orange. But I'm going to share
That
this
makes
is
sense.
the weird thing. Um, have a marketing company, been doing it for about 20 years. Came up with a logo long ago, and I didn't realize it until I wrote that down. The first answer was shade of green, and then that was number one. Number nine is orange. Those are the two colors in the logo.
Oh, how about that?
And I wasn't even trying. Like I was just writing colors, what I'm feeling.
Yeah,
I guess
okay.
I guess I put my soul into it.
I would say that's not a bad conclusion to draw from that.
Bizarre. It's like
Well, and that your heart knows what you love.
I guess. And then
And for some reason, those two colors speak to you about something that's good, something that's valuable, something that matters.
and why I can't answer that question. I don't know.
Yep.
If you said to me, Steve, what's your favorite color? Right away I would say, well, blue and shades of. I wouldn't say green or orange. I wouldn't. I never would. Maybe, it depends on the green, but it would have to be a
Interesting.
teal, which is blue
Yeah.
blended. But I would never say orange or green, but that's my soul apparently. And that's, what I made the logo. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's maybe also makes sense because when we're looking at a favorite color, we're looking at a color that we see outside of us.
Yes.
But if you're creating a logo, you're doing something that represents you in some way, your identity. So if we're orange and green, we're not going to see orange and green necessarily. It's not going to be the colors that catch our eye. It's just the color we are.
And what you just said is so true. When you ask somebody, what's your favorite color? Right away, they think of what they like to wear. And that's where the blue
Yes.
comes from. If you look at my closet, it's mostly blue.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Almost out of time here. What was the last one? I have the answer. I can't remember the phrasing of the question.
Oh, the question was sort of when, where, or how do you best kind of feel or hear your soul, feel aware of it?
When I feel connected, which is very often, or when my intuition kicks in.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's very intuition related. I also feel it when I have certain moments when I'm creating my artwork where I just feel so in harmony with something that just happened. Like, I gotta show you this because this was the happiest accident that happened last week.
Ooh, I
It's
see.
just an abstract.
Wow. I see shimmer. Like I get shimmer from that.
Yeah, and someone else was looking at it last night and they say, "Oh, I see sunlight coming down through leaves."
I could see that, but I also, yes, I do see that, but I also see lights on a Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with all those other colors in addition to the green.
Right.
Definitely.
But I see what
It was
that person said
completely
about the light coming through the tree. I see that too.
completely accidental though because I was sort of frustrated with it, so I just took some water on my fingertips and I just splattered it and then I went away and just left it to dry, and where the water landed, it cleared the paint away and made those light spots that then convey the feeling of light. And that's something I've always wanted to know. How did painters do that? You see a painting once in a while and it's like, there's a sun in that painting. How do they do that? I've never been able to do it on purpose.
Wow.
And I feel like I just came close by accident.
And my first description was shimmer. I didn't know what your intention of that was. Nothing. I had no
Again,
idea.
there was no intention, really. I actually expressed my frustration because I wasn't happy with the play that I had done with the colors. And so I just went,
Eh,
splat, splat.
wow.
Let's see what happens. And I went away because it was just play. I didn't have to take it seriously. And that's, I hope our emailer has some inspiration for where to start with painting. It's not so much what to paint, it's how do you want to feel while you paint, and
And
what would do that for you.
if you're looking for those answers in Marcy's case or just in general, go within. Listen.
Go within.
You got to listen to yourself. Super
That's
cool
where the good stuff
exercise.
is.
I'm still like processing how the logo is the colors, and I wasn't even on my radar. I just wrote down, I thought about it, what came up, but it came up for a reason. Robertson Art Therapy LLC.com. Best way
That's
to
me.
reach you. Yeah. This was fun.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, Barbara. That was really cool.
Thanks.
Learned a
Thanks.
lot.
I always enjoy the conversations we have.
Likewise. And if anybody's looking to maybe process life and art inspiration, there's answers here to everything we do in terms of creativity. I'm not here to prove anything, but I think I just did with my logo. Like I'm still like that there was a reason I did it, and that is an extension. I'm thinking of my soul. Because
Right?
I don't
Right.
even know when I think back, 18 years, why I use those colors. I don't know.
Well, that's that connection that you made today between your intuition and your soul.
100%. And for that, I thank you. We'll
You're
talk
welcome.
soon. Okay. We'll be right back.
Okay.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.